following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, and Newy Scruggs.
All right, everybody, it is the Players Lounge here on a Tuesday. I'm Newy Scruggs, your host, along with the two former Dallas Cowboys undrafted free agent safeties, Barry Church, number 42, the original Rocket, and the ultimate survivor. He is Danny McCray. Make sure you're catching him every Wednesday at 7 o'clock p.m. on CBS for Survivor 41. He's also got his official Team Danny merch.
Yes, absolutely.
Danny, tell everybody where they can get that merch at, man.
Absolutely.
Get the merch.
Yeah, man.
Good.
It feels good to be in studio, doesn't it, Newy? Yeah. So, by the way, you can get that Team Danny merch at shopteamdannymerch.com, or you can click the link in my bio on Instagram, and that's Danny McCray 40. In the studio, baby.
It's SWBC. We in the SWBC studio, man. We just missing one. Just missing one major component, but you know, he's coming in from home right now.
Yeah, listen, when you a TV star, you got your Emmys and you got all that stuff. Look at the background.
Look at the background. There's awards. Yeah, awards. I think I see a couple Emmys, but is that whole shelf Emmys?
Yeah, man.
So multiple.
Like, I would probably want to do the show from my spot too if I had that many. You know what? But whatever.
Hey, man, I just appreciate you just being on the show with us and just giving us the time to learn under the great Newy Scruggs. That's all I can do. That's all I can do is appreciate you, man.
He's using Emmys as doorstops, it looks like.
Man, he got so many in out. It got to be a record.
Can we book Newy?
I think so. Okay, I think you can book him. Yeah. I mean,
you can book him.
One of the best hosts in the world right now, man. Emmy award-winning Newy Scruggs.
Yeah, but book your hosting boot camp.
If you want to know about journalism, all right, book him now, all right? He has the credentials, all right? Yes, sir. What's up, Newy? What's on your mind today, baby?
You two can be like Bart Scott, who started off with me at NBC Sports Radio, and you look at Bart Scott now.
Tell him.
Marcus Spears, who came by to go ahead and learn from the new dog, and you see where he's at now. So, yes, you two. And if you two act right, you guys can be out there at that level, too.
Book him.
Okay?
Book him.
All right.
Book him.
Oh, man. Let's go,
Can we talk about the Cowboys? You guys done? You got it all out?
We all out for the day, man. We all out of ammunition, man. We done.
This is the Players Lounge where you get treated like you were in the locker room. You get hazed. You get worn down. This is a part of it. You step in here. The bullets will fly your way.
Yeah.
You will get stabbed from the front, not in the back. You will be stabbed in the front.
Want you to see it.
Then you got Chris. You got Chris Beam in the balcony section jumping off the top rope, getting his licks in too.
From 3.
But that's okay.
Oh, man.
The Cowboys are going to face the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. They are a 9-point favorite in this football game. That's what Vegas is saying. So they're basically in Las Vegas saying, hey, we trust the Cowboys. If this was a stinker against the Broncos, they're going to get right back and go forward. Wednesday is their next practice. They're off today. When you see a line like that, guys, how do you feel?
It makes me a little nervous, just because, the week that we're coming off of playing against the Broncos, there's a lot of stuff that we need to fix. And mainly what we need to fix is I'm listening to Dan Quinn, yesterday in his press conference, and it sounded like he's talking about people not giving 100% effort and hustling.
Not the 100.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're going to have a 9-point spread, you're going to have to be clicking on all cylinders, and everybody needs to buy back in order for you to cover that. So it makes me a little nervous because we came off a pretty disastrous performance on Sunday.
Yeah, it makes me nervous too because I didn't like how our run defense was handled. Now, I'm not saying Atlanta got, one of the premier rushing attacks or one of the premier offenses in football, but they still can run the ball a little bit. And they got Matt Ryan out there behind him or at the quarterback position, and he's seen pretty much everything. The guy's been in the league forever, so it's going to be hard to kind of get him off his game and disguise things against him, but we know he can be got. But if we go out there like we did against the Broncos, feeling themselves and going out there saying, we can just flip a switch and we'll be able to go ahead and turn it on, I think that's a bad recipe right there. And I think this coaching staff, I think they need to be on this team throughout the week, just letting them know, like, man, hey, these guys get paid too over there. And there was a lot of bulletin board material, mainly by myself and a couple other people out there who gave the Broncos bulletin board material. But for the most part, man, they need to keep their heads low and go out here in Atlanta and let them know that Atlanta does not deserve to be on the same field. Stomp on their throats from the beginning. I think what we did last week was we gave the Broncos juice. We gave them a little bit of momentum. They stopped us on fourth down a couple times, a couple penalties, a couple stalled out drives, and they felt like, hey, we can hang with these boys. But if we go out there and shut it down early, jump on this Atlanta team early, I'm sure they'll go ahead and close it up and get ready for next week, and we can get back in the win column. But we cannot sleep on this team because, like you said, they're professionals as well.
And we know that we know that Atlanta has seen a lot of Dan Quinn. All right, Matt Ryan. You say Matt Ryan has seen everything. He's seen a lot of Dan Quinn's defense. So it's going to be a nice little chess game, I believe, on Sunday between Matt Ryan, offensive coordinator, and then my man DQ. You know what I'm saying, to get us back on track.
What's DQ going? What's he gonna do to provide some pressure out there? Because it's like that D line our D line last week. It was like, man, they got stagnant out there. There was no pressure. Teddy Two Gloves went out there and picked us apart a little bit.
I'm just telling you. Listen, we all agree that we were sleepwalking. Okay,
all right.
We sleptwalk out there, and like I said, I heard Dan Quinn say out of his own mouth that the thing that was a little disappointing was that you weren't seeing guys hustling to the ball like they usually do, as far as there were a lot too many one-on-one tackles instead of gang tackles, where if you have 3 or 4 guys running to the ball, when that first person misses the tackle, then that second and third person will be able to clean them up. And he said he didn't see enough of that in the previous game. And to me, that sounds like hustle.
Yeah.
And being there and not depending on your teammate to make the play, but going and making sure you're doing what you're supposed to do just in case he doesn't.
And it was one clip. There was one clip that we saw from that game. I sent to y'all in the group chat we had, and it was pretty much a microcosm of what happened against the Broncos when number 33 Williams, he ran up the gut for about 6 yards. There was a couple Cowboys jumped on him. And he ended up driving them boys another 6 yards, threw the defensive tackle off of him. Get up off of me out here. I don't know what KZ was doing, because KZ just came in there and just kind of threw a shoulder and fell to the ground. It just looked super bad. But Javonte runs for another 20 yards after that, and that's what Dan Quinn was talking about. There wasn't enough people hustling, not enough people finishing out there. And when you do that, you're in trouble. You get beat down. The great Brad Sham over here.
In the NFL.
we got Brad Sham.
We got the
behind
great
us.
Brad Sham over here behind us, chopping it up, man. So had to give a salute to the legend right there.
The National Football League was full of teams that just didn't have their best effort on Sunday. So looking at the Cowboys and the fact that they were right there in the mix with other teams, does it give you any pause in the locker room? Do guys in the room say, hey, look, yeah, we played bad, but guess what? A whole lot of league played bad yesterday too.
I mean, to some extent, but I think you're professional enough to look in the mirror and say that the only one that really mattered is you not playing up to the standard that you've set throughout the first 7 games of the season. And we can look back and say, LA played this way, whoever played this way, but the team in our division that we're trying to catch is the Arizona Cardinals, and they won. All right,
without their quarterback, I mean, they still won.
So the team that we're trying to chase in the NFC, who we want to beat out to get that number 1 spot and get that first bye week, they won last week. So we can't afford to be like every other team in the league. We need to be on our game every time we go out there on the field and lead that field with a W.
Yeah, and you can't look at other squads, because I mean that's when it comes into the built-in excuses, and you're like, well, everybody messed up, so it's all right. We'll be back next week, and then you'll come back next week and perform the same way and get beat down. So you can't worry about what everybody else is doing out there. You got to focus, and they've done a good job of this so far this season. Taking it game by game, play by play. A little cliche, but they've been doing it at a pretty good job so far this season. So I don't think they can look at any other team. They just got to focus up and say, hey, we went out there and we got beat down. You got to take accountability. And so far this season, they've been doing a great job of keeping each other accountable, whether it's coaches, players, whatever it may be. They've done a great job of doing that so far. So they got to take accountability for it and say, hey, let's move forward. We watched the tape, got our corrections. Let's move forward and hopefully start anew when we go against Atlanta, because like I said, we can't sleep on them either, because they mess around and come out here and look like Teddy Two Gloves for sure.
Teddy Two Gloves.
All right, Jerry Jones on 105.3 The Fan today had this to say when asked about offensive tackle Tyron Smith, if he'll play against Atlanta. He says, it will get better as we go along, so I don't look at it as long term. But he says that, there's a chance he might not play. So if Tyron Smith is not at left tackle, Danny, what combination do you want to see?
Get him right.
Come on, Newy.
Get him right.
Newy, so is this a setup?
Get him right.
Is this a barbershop?
I thought this was the barbershop.
I thought it was a barbershop. Yes, Newy.
Bill Parcells used to have a line where he said, I reserve the right to change my mind.
Okay. Well,
so you can change your mind.
My mind ain't changing, okay? Lael Collins needs to be playing left tackle. Okay, he needs to be playing left tackle. We gave Steele a shot, which, against my wishes.
9
we gave
pressures,
Steele
2
a shot
sacks.
to get out there and play left tackle, and it did not work out. Put that man in the spot that he earned on the right side of your offensive line, at right tackle. Put Lael at left and let it roll, okay? At the end of the day, if Lael plays bad, what we do know is at least the right side is going to be good. What we don't want to go out there with is having to worry about both sides of our offensive line, both tackles struggling, and we having to figure out ways to help them out with chips or tight ends coming in, motion over and chipping that way, or backs chipping on the left side. We don't want to have to do that. So put my man Steele back where he's been performing to his best of his ability, and let LC see what he can do with his $50 million.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there, D-Mac. I know I wanted him on the left side last week because I thought he had momentum going. He was our best our best offensive lineman outside the 2 Hall of Famers. So go ahead and move him over there. But he struggled immensely, and he gave up 9 pressures. I think he gave up 2 sacks as well. So that was a big hurt to his confidence. Like that stabbed his confidence a little bit. So I'm gonna put him back on that right side. And hopefully he's able to perform like he did in those previous 5 or 6 games that he was at the right tackle, just to get his confidence back up there. Because we had a guy going where he thought, I'm playing at such a high level, I could be one of these Pro Bowl tackles as well. And we want to keep that momentum going. We don't want 2 back-to-back weeks where he's getting drummed on the left side. Now, if he goes back to the right side and gets drummed as well, then, hey, you had your opportunity and you lost it.
They took it from you.
And they took it from you. So,
they took it from you.
So I'm going to put him back on the right side where he feels more comfortable. He's naturally a right-handed guy, so hopefully he's able to block a little bit better on that side, handle all the stunts they got going over there, and get his confidence back up. And then, like you said, if Lael stinks it up on the left side, we know we're going to have Tyron Smith come back there eventually, so we'll know that left side is going to be down solidified if he's in the game, which I don't know. These injuries are piling up. But at least if he can hold it down on the right side, we got one side secure, and then when Tyron gets back, he can do that left side, and then we got an all-Pro Bowl potential guy as a swing tackle. But I still see it as a good problem to have, but we got to solidify one side, and hopefully Steele's able to do that on the right.
Newy, listen, I know you heard Church over here talking about, we expect Tyron Smith to be back and all this other stuff. What we did expect Tyron Smith to be is out, okay? Yeah. We expect him to be out. So my confidence in having him for long term and a stretch of 8-9 games carrying you into the playoffs is really low. It's really low because we talked at the beginning of the season about the old 2010 Tyron Smith and feeling better than you ever felt.
Yeah.
Now we got bone spurs. We let the ankle sprain slide because that was one of those things where it just happened. He got rolled up on. Yeah. But now you get into having bone spurs and stuff that you really can't explain and really can't put a timetable on when you'll be back in the game.
Yeah.
That is concerning to me at the left tackle position. So no, we don't really expect Tyron Smith to be back anytime soon if we want him to be healthy enough to carry us through the end of the season and into the playoffs.
Danny, I think you're going to be real upset to find out they're going to keep Steele at that left tackle. I just believe that's what they're going to do.
That going to be upset. I mean why he running around getting chased?
I really – because we're talking about – and you guys are professional players. We're talking about trying to have Lael Collins do something he hasn't done in the NFL, play left tackle. Yes, he did it at LSU, but now you're talking about putting him in here in the National Football League, left tackle? I don't know about that, man.
But I'm confused on the thought process, right? Because Steele, he played. They worked on it in training camp. It's training camp. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Training camp is training camp. All right. That's when you get your hand. You try to work on getting your hand placement right, get your foot placement right. But you ain't really seeing them dogs come around that corner like he saw on Sunday. All right, so he's going to be in the same position that Leo Collins was in, all right? Let's see if he can do it. But he played in the SEC at left tackle. He got drafted. He played with them knowing that he had experience playing the left tackle position. Give him a shot. My man still is not – it's not fair, but I don't think it's going to work out for him at left tackle.
He should stay on that right side, that natural right side.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work out for him. And they're going to continue to put him out there and continue to ruin this dude when you already lifted him up from last year to be a starting right tackle in the league. I just don't think it makes sense.
So let me come back to this way. We saw Terrence still getting a little bit of help. What if you put him back at left tackle and you just say, okay, look, we know we got to put Dalton Schultz over here, Jeremy Sprinkle over here. We just got to just from the jump go ahead and help this guy at the left tackle spot and keep LC over at the right. Would that make you feel any better, Danny?
I mean, as far as protection, it would, but for him as a player, it would make me feel better. I mean, like I said, this guy is becoming a better player in the league. His progress is now being halted by injury to Tyron Smith and Lael not wanting to play left, or people not feeling comfortable enough with him playing left. Mm-hmm. We don't feel comfortable with still playing left, but we do feel good with him playing on the right side. Yeah. I'm like, if you have the option to shore up one side and not be, having leakage on both, then I'm going to shore up that one side and see what my $50 million guy has on the left. I'm going to just see. Because what we've seen from Terrence Steele, like you said, 9 pressures, 2 sacks. Mm-hmm. And the pressures that were, like, he wasn't touching the guy.
No, they were just beating him around that edge.
And his hand, I think his hand placement, like, he wasn't able to really get the groove going on that side. So let's see what 71 has. Let's see. Try it out.
And look, if they do end up putting Steele on that left side, Newy, they're gonna have to bring some protection with them. Like, they're gonna have to have either Schultz or Zeke, Pollard, Chip on the way out, whatever it may be, because like Danny said, he struggled. He struggled, and it wasn't just like he was getting just hit with all these different moves. Cats seem to be able to just get around him with the quickness, just hit him with the one little inside out move, and then they're around the corner. So it may be, his foot placement. He's not used to being on that left side, leading with that left side, or hand placement with the left hand or anything like that. He may be stronger with the right, but if they do put him out there, he's definitely going to need help. Definitely going to have to chip him with some tight ends, some running backs, whatever the case may be. Maybe some screens to help slow that pass rush down. But Kellen Moore, get into your bag like you've been in all season. Help these guys out, and hopefully we can get this offense back rolling.
Okay, let's get our first break in here. I've got one more question for you, Danny, about Collins. And Barry, I want to add you into this as well, because this is something that plays into next year's football team. Okay. All right? Let's get into that next. Danny McCray, Barry Church, Newy Scruggs. This is Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hey Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to the Players Lounge.
All right, register now. And you want to actually, let's go with this. That was yesterday's read. Let's go with today's read, Tuesday. Celebrate Christmas at the Star with Cowboys Christmas Extravaganza powered by Reliant. The 20-minute show electrifies the Star in Frisco with a powerful mix of game day excitement and Cowboys cheer every Friday and Saturday at 6 p.m. November 19th through December 18th. Admission and parking is free. For more information, visit thestardistrict.com.
Yeah, visit that Star District.
This is the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com. I'm Newy Scruggs. The former players are Barry Church and Danny McCray. They were undrafted free agent safeties. Let us give back into Lel Collins, and then we're going to move in here to Dak Prescott and how he was playing as the team was down 30-0. Looking into next year, and Danny, you have been correct in terms of Tyron Smith keeps missing games. This happens every year. Maybe Tyron Smith decides to call it a career at the end. Is this when you say, hey, put Lel Collins at left tackle now, is this a move that you could make now and anticipate it going into next year, that maybe Collins is your tackle long term? And does Collins even go to a guy like Joe Philbin, the offensive line coach, and say, you know what, put me at left tackle?
Man, I don't know. I think you won't know unless you put him out there. If you just keep saying that he's, that still may be better, or we don't know if Collins is going to be able to adjust to being the left tackle, then we won't even be able to answer that question at the end of the season. So, to your point, if that's the case, then yeah, try him out, because what we know is not the answer at left tackle. He's the answer at right tackle. What we know is Lael is making $50 million. All right, so trying to figure out how you're going to move into next year with him playing guard, what you're going to do with Terrence Steele. What if Tyron Smith decides that he's not coming back? Try Lael at left tackle. See how it works. Or give him a couple games, right? Because you already know it's a tough adjustment. So give him a couple games, see if he continues to get better, and then make your decision at the end of the year, or to help you.
Yeah, to that point, you got to at least try the guy out there. We saw what happened last week with Terrence Steele. I'm going to keep bringing it up. He had, 11? Was it 11 hurries now? 11 hurries, 9 pressures, and gave up 2 sacks. So he definitely struggles on that left side. He's more predominantly on the right side. He's been holding it down for a couple games over there. So I leave him over there. And then Lael, as far as Tyron Smith, maybe he wants to leave, or maybe he wants to retire at the end of the season. I think you gotta see what else he can do there first. So like you said, I would put him out there. If Tyron can't go this week, I put him out there just to see what he can do. Now, if he ends up going out there and playing lights out and being that guy, then definitely you would have a good problem on your hands. Because if Tyron Smith walked away, you can easily just slide LC right in there. So I think they got to give him an option out there just to see. I don't think if they don't give him any type of reps out there, I don't think you can go into next year saying, all right, if Tyron Smith's out, LC just can slide in there, because he had no reps at it. He hasn't done it since college. So I think in order for us to get that look, I would think they would have to put him in there for at least a game just to see how he can adjust to it. But we just know for a fact that Terrence Steele right now at that right side, he's good. Left side, he struggles a bit.
Yeah, correct it. Let's correct it. Right. 11 pressures. 11 pressures. 9 hurries and 2 sacks.
He gave up a lot out
That's
there.
A rough day.
I was definitely wrong about that transition. I thought for sure, all right, this guy's rolling right now. He can go from the right to the left, no problem. But it's a lot harder than anticipated. Because them guys on the left side, they're coming from the blind side, so you're not gonna have a lot of help out there. And we've seen when you got put on the island as a tackle, if you ain't ready, they're gonna take you to school out there.
Yeah, it's on film, so you know what to expect when you see Steele out there left tackle this week.
Get ready to dance.
101s. They're gonna figure out a way to get those 101s.
So the Cowboys' next 3 games will be home against the Atlanta Falcons, on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs, and then a home game on Thanksgiving Day against the Las Vegas Raiders. And we'll see exactly what these defensive coordinators come up with as they get ready to go up against this Cowboys offensive line. Now, there's something, Danny, you wanted to bring up from Sunday's game. The Cowboys are down, getting drilled, and Mike McCarthy decides that he wants to keep Dak Prescott and the first-team offense out there. He says they wanted to get in some 2-minute drill work. That was the reasoning there. A lot of people on social media saying, why in the heck is Dak Prescott out there having come off a calf injury and a blowout where the game has already been decided?
Yeah, man, that's one of those things where I'm like, it's not a problem till it's a problem. Mm-hmm. All right, you don't suffer any setbacks because he didn't get hurt. So then it seems like, okay, we did get some 2-minute drill work. We did score 2 touchdowns, but it only takes one play.
Mm-hmm. We know it.
And then not only the fans are questioning you. The ownership and the organization is questioning why you would have this guy out here knowing that he came off an injury all of last year. We saw what it did to our team last year. He had the shoulder injury during training camp where he had to sit out. Now you got a calf injury. The best thing for our team and our chances to make it far into the playoffs and possibly make a Super Bowl is for Dak Prescott to be healthy. Without him healthy, this left tackle stuff don't matter, right tackle stuff don't matter, how good the defense plays, how bad. None of that matters if Dak Prescott is not healthy. And I don't want to hear nothing about Cooper Rush being able to come in and carry the team if Dak Prescott is out for an extended period of time, because that ain't the case. All right, so I think it was risky. I ain't the coach, but if it was me, I would have pulled my $160 million man out of the game.
All right, now if we had Double G as the backup, hey, that'd be a different story. But before that's a story for another day. But I didn't want to kill him for it. But if Dak, if he didn't come off that injury, like if he wasn't injured that week before, and look, we just went out there and we got drummed, I wouldn't mind him saying, all right, look, we need some type of momentum going forward to next week. So let's work on this 2-minute drill and get that thing going. And they did. They got 2 touchdowns. They showed that they can move the ball a little bit. But with him coming off that calf injury that week before, I just don't see the risk versus reward there by keeping him out there any longer. We've seen when he hurt that calf, he didn't even get hit. It was just a non-contact hit. He was rolling out, threw the ball off his calf, and he got hurt by it. So him just coming off of that calf muscle injury, his first game back, if we're getting drummed like that, I got to sit him on the bench. I understand what he tried to do, trying to get, at least have some good film out there for this offense so they can go forward thinking, all right, that was just a bump in the road. We can get back to ourselves. But when he's coming off a calf injury like that, just a week before or 2 weeks before, and you was kind of shaky for him coming into this game, I just don't see the reward of having him out there. It ain't like you can come back and get a victory by any stretch of the imagination. So I think Cooper Rush should have just came in there, filled in the last couple minutes, and we called it a day from that. Because like you said, we do not want, no disrespect to Cooper Rush, but we do not want Rush in there for a large chunk of this season. If it's spot duty, sure, he can come in there and do a Minnesota-type game and perform well. But when it comes to a stretch and these coordinators start game planning for Cooper Rush, I don't think he'll survive very long. So we just got to keep that man healthy. And by keeping him healthy, we got to keep him off the field when we're getting our butts kicked like we were last weekend.
And I think it's fair to say that you possibly already have a hampered Amari Cooper. Yeah. You got a Zeke who's sitting on the sideline icing his knee. And then, now you got your quarterback out there, in harm's way going into, a position in the game where we have no chance of coming back. I think it was a really risky moment. Thankfully, we made it out of there, no injury. Dak is healthy and going to play this week. But it was a very worrisome, couple of drives for me. I was like, man, I just don't get it.
Because we got so much going on right now. We just came off of a 6-game win streak. We're 3 games ahead in our division. Like, it's just, it's not like we're pressing to make sure we got to get this or we got to get this victory. We got to do something here. We got space. We got time to go ahead and let guys rest if need be. If we're getting drummed like that, get them out the game. We got time because our division is so terrible. So, to me, it was a questionable move. I can see the pros, but I just think the cons outweighed the pros in this decision.
Man, a part of me says, yes, this is truth. What you guys are saying, what we're talking about, this is true. But the other part of me wonders, are we being too hard on these guys? After this is a team that, until this game, the other 7 games were good football games. They won 6 of them. The game against Tampa, you're right there at the end. Can we give them a mulligan like you do in golf, Danny? Can you give it?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
Barry, you the golfer.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm definitely taking a mulligan on that one.
Hold on. I gave a mulligan. Didn't I say that's okay? They sleptwalk. That's not who we were. That's not who we are. We won 6 straight. It's hard to keep a streak going. Nobody wins them all. And I said it's fine. We gonna be okay. We all right. That's a mulligan.
Well, let me ask y'all this.
The season ain't over. The sky ain't falling. We 6-2.
Let me ask both of y'all this. We go out against Atlanta this week, and let's just say it's a lot closer than we want it to be. Like, we had to scratch and claw just to get back in, and we won a close one at home. Do you start to worry then?
Absolutely not. Atlanta's playing good football. Okay. Atlanta has turned around and they've beat some teams. I think they got a 500 record now.
Yeah, they're 4-4.
Yeah, they're playing good football. I don't expect it to be easy, especially with the history of us playing Atlanta. So for some reason, when we play Atlanta, it's always one of those games. Yeah, it's always one of those games. So the only thing that matters is a win. Ask Pittsburgh. It don't matter how you win. I listen to Mike Tomlin say, we're not going to apologize to nobody. For how we win in these games, or we are winning. All right, that's all that matters. I don't care how close it is.
What you think, Newy?
I look at this and I just keep saying it. You're not going to play 16, 17 great games. You're not. You're going to have a stinker, and I am concerned about the offensive line. That's why we started about it. We spent a whole lot of time talking about it with this show. But I'll also kind of throw in this: how many other coordinators they going to face that could put together a scheme like Vic Fangio? I mean, Vic Fangio came out here and he basically had something for everything Kellen Moore wanted to do.
Yeah.
And how many other teams can come out and give you that same kind of personnel, especially from a secondary standpoint, that the Denver Broncos did? I just don't know. I don't think Atlanta can play that kind of defense on this Cowboys football team.
Yeah,
that's just me.
Go ahead. Yeah, but you got to have a strong secondary, and we knew that was the strength of this Denver team coming into the game. They just traded away Von Miller. We thought their front seven wasn't going to be able to hang with what the Cowboys had going on, and they put a lot of pressure on their secondary because they stacked the box. They said, you know what, Dak, you coming off a calf injury. We want to see if you still got it. We want to see if you can steal dices apart and win it on your arm alone. And they had a great game plan because they had an extremely strong secondary out there. Surtain, Fuller, and those boys, Darby, they locked down. Simmons as well. They locked down out there, and they made it hard for our receivers. They had a lot of windows out there that it was a tough contested catch. If it was a catch, it would have been contested. So, I mean, they had a strong secondary, and I think you're right, Newy. I don't think we're going to go against, for the rest of the remaining of the regular season, a secondary as strong as Denver's that will allow them to stack the box like that and still be able to strap up on the back end.
Listen. In fairness to Kellen Moore and our offense, all right, we had a couple plays where CeeDee Lamb was behind the defense and we missed it.
Yeah.
We had a drop by Tony Pollard. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had some plays where we could have. Those would have been huge plays for our offense. All right, and it would have turned the game. And we just, like I said, for some reason, the way that we went out to the game, I think our focus was a little off. I'm not sure how you really put it into words, but something just wasn't clicking with us. But the opportunities for us to make those plays, as good as their defense did play, they were still out there.
Yeah,
we just didn't capitalize on those plays, and that hadn't happened for us all season. We had usually been the team who we capitalized on every opportunity that we made, and I think that punt just was a sign for how the game was going for us. That punt block where that is an opportunity that we capitalize on, and it just did not fall our way. And it was, I was like, yeah, this is that Sunday.
How would you feel, D-Mac? We both did it. We both was in special teams, them Joe D meetings, so we know how it was. But how would you feel if that was if you were in right shoes? We got a block punt. It went over the line of scrimmage. You touched it, which means they get the ball back. Would you feel like, man, I gotta play better, or is it just like, man, I didn't even know that rule. I was just going out there trying to make a play.
Yeah, I mean, in his situation, I don't think I don't think anybody would have had the wherewithal to say, hey, that ball actually crossed the line of scrimmage, let me not touch it. It was literally a bang-bang play.
Yeah.
Like, no, him being on the field, I don't think he could have looked to the sideline to see that the line of scrimmage was right there, so he shouldn't touch the ball. So I don't feel bad. And when I'm in the meeting room, I don't think Joe D's going to make me feel bad either because that is a bang-bang play. And also, our whole entire team played bad.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a play.
Yeah.
All right? And it just didn't fall that way. This is not the same as dropping the pass, roughing the kicker. This is not that. This is one of those fluky moments where it's like, dang, who knew? Who knew? We all texted each other in the group like, oh, man, awful. Like, who knew?
Yeah, I didn't know that rule. I'd have been just right in right shoes. Let me get that rock. We still got it.
Because it usually applies to a deep punt or a field goal where it crosses the line of scrimmage. But it's usually it's far.
Yeah.
It doesn't usually happen that close. It's not bouncing up into your hands. Like, that was just, just a bad chain of events for us on punt return at that time.
All right, let's take a break here. Two players could be returning to the Cowboys lineup against the Atlanta Falcons. Let's dive into that next with Danny McCray, Barry Church. I'm Newy Scruggs. This is the Players Lounge brought to you by Hotels.com on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Organic pumpkin smoothies are back at Smoothie King with at least 13 grams of protein each and 5 options to choose from. It's easy to find a favorite to help you reach your goals, like the new Keto Champ Pumpkin, packed with a whopping 23 grams of protein and 9 net carbs. It's a quick and nutritious meal on the go. So order online or through the app for pickup or delivery. And power up with pumpkin and protein, official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys. Smoothie King. Rule the day.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with...
And I'm Jay Novacek, and we're both with...
United Ag and Turf, the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done...
Get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
And then, let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
Back to the Players Lounge.
This holiday season, visit the Star to get your photo with Santa, presented by Monument Realty. Santa Claus will be at his cowboy-themed cottage in the Star District across from Ascension on the Star Boulevard from November 26th through December 24th. For more information and booking your Santa photo, visit thestardistrict.com/Santa. So the holiday season is coming around here, Cowboy fans. I'm Newy Scruggs. This is the Players Lounge brought to you by Hotels.com. This is about two players who used to play the game, former undrafted free agent safeties Barry Church and Danny McCray. Jerry Jones saying that DeMarcus Lawrence, its 21-day window has not begun yet. So I should say Mike McCarthy said it. So not expected to begin his 21-day practice window this week. So he's not going to play against the Falcons, but Michael Gallup expected to play against the Falcons. Tristan Hill, defensive tackle. We could see him play this week.
Young goon.
Two guys coming back into the lineup. Guys, how do you feel about that?
Well, I definitely want to see what Michael Gallup got coming, because we saw what Ced Wilson was able to do out there, and he proved that he's more than just a gadget guy. Like, in the past, I thought of him as just, a reverse guy, kind of give him a pitch. He can throw, he got a little arm on him, so he could throw the ball a little bit, with some reverses, some slants and stuff like that. But he's proven to be more than that. He's a good route runner, he has good hands, and he has a good connection with Dak Prescott. We saw that on that 4th and 4 in New England when all options were taken. It was 4th down for the game. He went to Ced Wilson, who came through with the big clutch catch. So this guy has definitely proven to be a valuable piece out there for this offense. I think Michael Gallup overall is a better player, and I'm definitely want to see how his impact's going to have on the rest of this trio of receivers. Will it open up more looks for a CeeDee Lamb? Will it open up more looks for a Amari Cooper? But also, it's just tough because what do you do with Ced Wilson in that instance? I mean, he's done a great job in the slot. He's done a great job of playing off of those two big-time receivers on the outside, and we haven't seen Gallup play in the slot that much. Like, he's mostly an outside receiver. So I'm not saying will that mess up the feng shui, but will it clog things up out there? Because CeeDee Lamb, he can play inside outside, but the more you move him around, it's harder for teams to double team him. So I think that was a nice piece for Ced Wilson to come in there and kind of get the slot duties there so he can play on the outside and teams don't have a good chance to double team him all like that. So I want to see what Michael Gallup can bring to this table. Tristan Hill, a good rotational piece. I'm more excited to wait for Neville Gallimore to come back, but I see Tristan Hill as like basically a rotational piece. I think Odigizua has proven that he's a better defensive tackle than Tristan Hill has been. So to me, it's Michael Gallup. I'm really interested to see what he can bring to this table come Sunday.
Yeah, listen, my man Church brought the feng shui.
The feng shui out there, Mr. Miyagi.
Into his speech. Okay, all right. I think this is easy. I'm excited to see Michael Gallup. Kind of different from how Church thinks about it, because I think Michael Gallup is our true deep threat. Okay. He's usually that guy who's making those deep catches, and I think CeeDee Lamb is more dangerous, like you said, when he's able to move around.
Yep.
And I think the same for Amari Cooper. Now that you see that CeeDee Lamb can also play on the outside, him and Amari Cooper are interchangeable. Which one do you want to put in the slot? Which one do you want to put outside? Make defenses figure out how they're going to double team and who they're going to double team. And, oh, by the way, now you got your deep threat back. Right, so those deep balls that CeeDee Lamb that were missing last week, those are the ones that Michael Gallup has been catching, and you've seen him doing it. So, and I think he's going to come back hungry. As long as he's 100% healthy, I'm really, really excited to see him back in this offense because I think it's going to bring a new level to us. And shout out to Tristan Hill. I think he's going to be okay.
Young Gator roll.
If he's continued to get better like he was at the last training camp, and he gets away from that Gator roll, I think he'll be okay. And you know, based off our run defense play last week, we can use some help. So hopefully that turns out to be good. But I'm really excited to see Michael Gallup back in the offense.
Yeah, Michael Gallup's gonna be extremely hungry out there. I mean, this is a guy who missed so many weeks out there. He's seen Ced Wilson ball out. He's in a contract year, so he knows he's gonna have to, when he gets back in these opportunities, he's gonna have to take advantage of them. So I think you're right, man. That Michael Gallup coming back, it should provide, you know, good dividends for this offense. But I'm more interested to see how he comes back and how he responds to that injury, and can he become a better football player.
You know, I'd like to see Tristan Hill add something to this defense. We saw how the Broncos had 41 rushes, and their two running backs went wild on the Cowboys defense. If there's some more help that you could have up there, remember, bring Urban. Urban has been out missing some time here. I think this can ultimately, as I start to look toward the December, January run this Cowboys team can be able to make, having as many guys who can be in a rotational atmosphere up front for this defense, I think will help. One thing I wanted to talk about, we can even dive into it more, but I at least want to start the conversation today, is you guys are former players. How do you feel about Calvin Ridley and seeing his situation where he stepped away from football to deal with mental health? With Julio Jones being gone, so many people thought that Calvin Ridley was going to step into a superstar status role this year, but he has taken some time away to work on himself and deal with his own issues. Danny?
I'm gonna give him some props because, you know, us as football players, we've been doing this our entire life. All right, so you see a lot of guys who retire and they cannot find a way to stay away from the game, and then when they are separated from the game, they're not able to do anything else, and you see sometimes that can go really, really bad for them.
Yeah.
So the fact that he can look at himself in the mirror and say, I need to step away from the game, take some time away from this so I can work on myself, I think that takes a lot of heart. I think it takes a lot of courage for him to be able to do so. So come back right.
Yeah.
Right. Because football is just one part of your life. All right. You got a longer life to live when it's over with. So make sure that your mind and your body are in the right place to continue to be there for your family and friends more than it is for you to, you know, play your 5 or 6 years, you know, in the NFL. So shout out to him for doing that, and you know, praying for him.
Yeah, I definitely got to give him a shout out on this one because, you know, playing football, all we're taught is, oh, you're not hurt, you're masculine, you're a warrior, you don't need to show your feelings like that. You know, you go out there and forget all that. It's all about football. But like you're right, football is just a small portion of your life. And then for him to go out there and let everybody know and kind of put his emotions and kind of be his vulnerabilities out there for everybody to know, it takes extreme courage to do that. I mean, he sat there and he realized that he couldn't give his team 100%. You know, his mind wasn't in there. He was mentally checked out, and he needed to focus on himself a little bit so he can become a better guy, so he can be a better guy for his football team. And like I said earlier, that takes extremely a lot of courage because, you know, that locker room can be brutal, and we're taught to never show emotion or never show any type of weakness. And for him to go out there and say, look, guys, you know, I'm dealing with some things. I need this to clear my mind before I'm able to get back and give you guys my all. It takes a lot of courage, and shout out to him for that.
So Calvin Ridley, fantastic player, a guy I thought was going to have a really breakout year, stepping away from mental health issues. And I hope he can find the piece he's looking for. We saw Lane Johnson, offensive lineman with the Philadelphia Eagles, step away, same thing, trying to deal with mental health. And so I'm with you guys. This is about your life. It's not just about football. And hopefully Ridley feels the support from his own team.
Yes.
Because you guys are in that room. You know how some coaches treated guys if they felt like you were injured or you couldn't help them. Some of these coaches wouldn't even look at players. They act like they didn't exist. So hopefully that young man feels some support from his teammates.
Yep. And I want to add one thing. outside of my man Ridley, because I got to. I just have to.
What's going on?
I couldn't let this go. All right. Okay, let me tell you something. You was talking about what they gonna do with Zed Wilson. Tell them to go holler at Terrence Steele. All right, they gonna have a party. You know what I'm saying? Their own little party in the back, talking about how they feel about being in there and proving that they could play in the game, and then they ended up losing their spot somehow. Said a little different because Michael Gallup got injured, but they both gonna have some bones to pick. And I'm telling you, it's a bad precedent to start in your locker room, knowing that you can do everything you're supposed to do, be in the right place, do all the right things, and still not be put in the position to succeed. And Terrence still wasn't put in that position.
But what about Zed Wilson? Do you think Zed Wilson deserves to be in that spot, even though Gallup, he got that spot because Gallup got hurt?
No, Gallup got hurt is different.
Okay.
Gallup got hurt is different.
All right.
Okay. Lael Collins, he hurt himself.
Yeah, he messed up. Okay.
And then Gallup got hurt, so he deserves the chance to get his spot.
Can't get Wally pipped.
But yeah, him and Terrence Steele, they gonna have some conversations after this.
They'll be talking back there.
The next picture you're gonna see of the Cowboys players out and about is gonna be them and Nick and Sam's or
chilling like. Can you believe this, man? I tell you what, they set us up, man.
I know how you feel. That's what they say. I know how you feel, bro.
I know. Hey, come on, take a seat, man. Let's talk about this, man.
This has been the Players Lounge on a Tuesday. We will end it on that. Danny McCray, Barry Church, I'm Newy Scruggs for Chris Bean, Will, Scott, Aaron, everybody who's been a part of this. We appreciate it. We'll check with you on Wednesday as we get ready for another episode of Survivor 41 with our guy, Danny McCray, a part of the cast. So we'll talk to you later, everybody.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?